And the hot chick felt the presence of the godly bad boy with a full sack, and she was lost in time. Man, we can't help being this sexy. It's just the way that it is. Now, it's the energy. Now, of course, looks plays a factor. If you are taking care of yourself physically, spiritually, and emotionally, this is all, of course, factors into this, but really what it comes down to is discipline and self-control, but not discipline for discipline's sake and not self-control for self-control's sake. It's just, that's a byproduct of who you are now. Who you are is someone that does not take any crap from anybody. And you're able to walk away from any situation that doesn't really serve you. That's why you're the lover everybody wants to be with when you have a full sack. It's just the case. And you've got to be mindful that these are practices, like these are sacred practices. This practice of discipline, and well, really anything can be sacred, because when you're on the spiritual path, all paths eventually lead to the soul of existence. And once you're in the soul of existence, you're in timelessness. You're oriented from a place of timelessness. And you're no longer concerned about the way that you look, or why you look a certain way, or if you're gonna, sound strange, or be this way or be that way. Like, you're just being, just to be. And you're seeing yourself, seeing others seeing you, and you're completely at peace and content with it. This is, in essence, the godlike mastery practice. For those that are interested in practicing godlike mastery, it's simply about recognizing the methods to get out of methods. And when you're oriented from a place of timelessness, there is no need for a method. And lately, I've been wondering about how I really want to move forward in very many different domains of my life, because I've had many ego deaths recently. A lot of people are consumed by, once I have an ego death, it's one and done. Ego deaths happen all the time. And there are many instances in where you have to simply recognize that the ego is part of the true will of the soul of existence. Now, what that means is that it's not to be egotistical, or rather egocentric, to center your life around your ego, but it's simply to be the selfish version of yourself. To be selfish is to be the ishness of who you are. And this is also one of the other reasons why everybody wants to be your lover. On semen retention, or when you're practicing celibacy, when you've got a full sag, it's like the world is really your oyster. And it's like you've never seen it before, but now you do. Now, of course, this is just one method. This is not to say that the full sack is the end-all be-all. But I will say that when you're able to walk around with balls of steel, hanging loose, and feeling free, feeling zesty, and feeling spicy, I mean, there's really not much that can stand in your way. And your nervous system, your solar timeline interface, for the Regal Change old timers who are aware of my vernacular in my language that I use, the Regal Change old timers are definitely aware that the solar timeline interface relaxes when you're able to be at ease with the way that life is, because your solar timeline interface does not respond to narratives. This is something I've learned recently, and in my writings of the Regal timeline theory and working on this book, I've discovered that it's not the narratives that really calm your nervous system, it's embodying the narrative. So when you embody the narrative structure that you're projecting into the symbolic narrative field, that's how your solar timeline interface calms down. So if you want to calm down around beautiful women, for example, because a lot of men will get like super, and believe me, like I've definitely had my fair share where I wouldn't have been able to even look a hot chick in the eyes, 10 years ago. Like a really hot chick that I was just like, man, she is hot. There was no way I was going to even look her in the eye, let alone say something. And if I did say something, it would be, like a teenager who is on, puberty or whatever. Because it was just, I would get super nervous around these women because I would project my anima onto these women so much that I was completely unable to like function. Because at the time, we're all in the psychological process. You could say that we're all possessed by our anima or our animus. For those that are not familiar, these psychological terms coined by Carl Jung, well, I don't know if they were technically coined, because he did say in his book Ion, The Phenomenology of the Self, that not all of these terms were his creation, but he saw different ways to express them. So the anima and the animus, for example, the anima is the totality of feminine experiences inside a male psyche. The animus is the totality of masculine experiences inside a female psyche. It's not to say that, it's the end all be all, that women have to be a certain way or men have to be a certain way. There are certain characteristics, but we have to recognize also that masculine and feminine are constructs. Just like aging. Aging is a construct. So, did y'all see that? Be just like, I don't know if you could see it. It was just hanging out right here for a second. But anyway, yes, they are constructs. And the only reason why it's worth mentioning is that, well, there's a lot of reasons why actually, but specifically, because nobody really talks about these things in the way that I do, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody, that's the reason why I have the type of audience that I do. And I'm very pleased with the interactions that we do have, because we're not trying to talk just to talk. We actually are talking because we have something to say. That's one thing I really don't like about these other social media platforms or these other, creators or whatever. Like, look, there's a lot of great creators out there, and I get inspiration and I have a lot of respect for a lot of these different creators. But a lot of them just talk just to talk. And they're just saying things just to say things because they feel like they need to say something. And I always just have so much to say, and yet I have so much of nothing to say, that this is why I do what I do. This is why I talk about these things, is because it's interesting, because a lot of people want to be marketed to. They want to be sold to on certain things, right? Like even titles like this. If I said in my title, everybody wants to be your lover, or you're the greatest lover that everybody wants, with a full sack, it'll get a whole bunch of views relatively with my videos, right? Whereas if I said, calm down your nervous system and appreciate the ontology of attraction, nobody would get that. Nobody would get it. So in some ways we have to market these things, because as Nietzsche said, you have to, if somebody's asleep, you have to allure people's senses to the truth. Because a lot of the times, it reminds me of a story from Ram Dass with Maharaji, his guru. And Ram Dass was asking Maharaji, he says, hey, Maharaji, how do I get enlightened? And Maharaji says, feed people. And Ram Dass says, well, I was expecting this esoteric, deep secret thing that I could go market back to America, but feed people? That's it? That's what I traveled to India for? And yes, it's really that simple. The thing is we're so caught up in the matrix, especially men caught up in the matrix when it comes to lust, because lust is it fogs their brain up so much. And if you don't know how to calm your nervous system or your solar timeline interface, around certain types of women, I mean, you're just going to be a slave to it, you know? And it's not to say that, and of course everybody knows this, but nobody really knows how to embody it. Like, nobody really knows how to embody. So that's what I'm here for. I'm showing you that there's a better way to embody these things. And the way that you embody it is by embodying the narrative structure that you're projecting into the symbolic narrative field. Because the only true thing that we have control over is our own mind. Like Marcus Aurelius, brilliant Stoic philosopher and basically, you know, a leader for all of Rome, right? You know, he was the emperor of Rome. And this was thousands of years ago. And in one of the classes that I did for the Regal Academy recently, talked a little bit about Marcus Aurelius. And something that he talks a lot about is, you know, acknowledging that every single day you're going to deal with people that lie, cheat, deceive, do this and do that. He's like, and all you can do is trust your own thoughts. You know, be grateful for yourself. Be grateful for what you're doing. Be grateful for the good things, the little things of life, basically, right? I'm paraphrasing quite a bit, but that's essentially the gist. And so Marcus Aurelius was a fascinating character. And he was able to demonstrate this stoic quality of life, which I do think that a lot of stoicism is idolized. Like, you'll see these guys that will, you know, that, oh, I have to be more stoic. I have to be, it, you know, I've got to be more manly. And the thing is that's like, sometimes that works with certain types of women, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes that works in life, and sometimes it doesn't. Like for me, for example, people have told me in my videos that I don't really smile much. And yet at the same time, I'm freaking joyful as hell. Like I'm always laughing with myself, and I'm always dancing or singing with myself, and I enjoy my life. It's just when I'm out with people, like, it's almost as if I love being around people, but when you're around people for too long, like, you kind of just want to be alone. Sometimes you want to be alone and be around people, but sometimes you just want to be alone. And I really firmly am, not even firmly, just, it is what it is. I trust that to be sensible in solitude is going to be very important. It's going to be very, very important. So if you don't know how to be sensible in solitude, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, it's not going to really be what you really want, because you're the eternal lover anyway. I mean, when you really start to let go of lust, here's what happens, right? Here, this is something that it'll blow your mind. When you're able to look at everyone as the beloved, that's a weird ass experience, man. Like, and yes, we have to put emphasis on this, because it is a weird experience. I did not expect it to be like this. I mean, I didn't really have expectations, but I didn't know that life could get this great. I didn't know life could get this great with a full sack. When things are crazy and psychotic, and yet at the same time, it's amazingly beautiful. But I'm not attached to this. I'm just like recognizing, okay, yeah, this is hell. Like, this is hellishness. This is heavenliness. And right now I'm in a numinous quality of mind in which there's like, there's heavenliness. You know, it's like all the problems that you ever think about. What I want to be for people is, if they're just in my presence long enough, all their problems will dissolve. Because I am so oriented from a place of timelessness that they don't even remember problems. That's what I want. Now, I'm working to embody that narrative structure. because the only way to do that is to trust myself and to be fully in love with me, but not in love with the sense of like, superficial, superfluous. It's this just so there's the beloved again. And it's so strange because everyone you meet or everything you see is the beloved. I mean, it's so kind of crazy, it's really not something that I can describe in the spirit of the time just yet, because I'm still processing it myself, because it's just this constant unfolding of life, and it's just beautiful and amazing. But really, the full sack is really what catapulted all of this experience that I'm currently having. I feel strong. I feel vitality of life. Again, I feel that zest. I feel citrusy. I feel spicy. And at the same time, I can sun gaze in the morning and the evenings, and I can just see the light, man. I can see the light everywhere. And again, I'm not attached to this feeling right now, but it's really great. It's a great feeling. But even suffering is a great feeling, because on the other side there's going to be some kind of lesson to learn and some kind of divine grace. It's all grace, and grace is running the show. So I trust that those who are ready to hear this type of content have received this message, and I trust that for those that are interested in godlike mastery, now that it's July, I have 3 spots available for the godlike mastery offer that I have in July. And if you want to apply, go ahead and go apply in the comment section or the description box. Now, I will say that it's a financial investment as well as, a personal commitment. And that commitment, it's not for everybody. Okay, it's not for everybody. You choose me, I choose you. That's the way that we go here. We're exchanging value for value. That's the way that we operate. Now, if you want more of just, an introduction to a group or to classes, then you can join the Regal Academy, or you can schedule a one-on-one with me. Otherwise, peace be with you. Be blessed. Until next time.